let's welcome the City Councillor, Mr. Au, to make an welcome speech. And Mr. Au is our chairperson for the CCTC this year. Welcome.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chak Au, and I'm a Richmond City Councillor, and also the Honorary Chair of the 2016 CCTC Organizing Committee. So on behalf of the organizer of the conference, it's both my pleasure and honor to welcome you, particularly those of you who come from overseas or out of town. I'm also extremely delighted to welcome delegation from Jingzhou Airport Economic Zone, led by Mr. Wang Fei 局长，温哥华欢迎你。Each year, there are many trade conferences in Vancouver, but I would suggest that this conference is perhaps one of the most important events of the year. There are two reasons. Number one, the theme of the conference today, and second, the participants who are attending today. I think I do not have to re-emphasize the importance of Canada-China trade. We are all familiar with the fact that China is the world's second largest economic entity, and that China is the second largest trade partner of Canada and BC. Now, and it's for these reasons that many enterprises in Canada are eager to enter into the Chinese market. However, it's not always easy because most of the companies in Canada are small and medium enterprises. Very often, they are facing the challenges of the lack of information, time, and money to break into the Chinese market. The traditional strategies of breaking into new markets, such as attending trade fairs, are always expensive in terms of monetary cost and time. That's why the theme of this conference is on cross-border e-commerce. E-commerce is a new way of doing business, which will remove the obstacles that may hinder many enterprises from entering into the Chinese market. E-commerce is much more convenient and cost-effective. Through the use of the internet, companies can easily find their customers with only a fraction of the cost. In China, the development of e-commerce is amazing, and it's good news to companies in Canada. Let's look at some statistics. In China, there are over 700 million internet users, and in 2014, they spent over $500 billion US dollars in internet purchases. And this is another example which is amazing to many of us. Now, in North America, we have the Valentine's Day on February the 14th. In China, they have the Day of the Unattached, the day for the singletons, on November 11th, 光棍节. So while we celebrate the Valentine's Day here in North America, they also celebrate the Day for the Unattached. And in China, they have a day for business. And the business people in China have been promoting this day for spending. So that is to buy gifts, not for your lovers, but for yourself. So do you pamper yourself by buying yourself gifts? And here are the figures. Whole and below, the volume of sales of e-commerce on this one day in 2010 was 900 million renminbi. The following year, 2011, is $5.2 billion in renminbi. 2012, it becomes 5 times more, 25 billions. And in 2013, it became 35 billion. And in that particular year, it already exceeded the total spending on Cyber Monday in the United States. So it already exceeded the spending of Cyber Monday in the US. In 2015, it exceeded $122 billion, which represents a 52.7% increase over 2014. So just imagine the fast development and the quick increase of spending just on one day in China. And do you know how much money we are talking about on this day? $122 billion in renminbi equals to 24 billion in Canadian money. So we are talking spending on one day worth $24 billion. Now, at this time, I would like to ask you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine what would it mean to your business if you can share just a little bit of the pie? And what would be the opportunities that will be offered to you and to your company? And that's why we picked the theme for this year on cross-border e-commerce. There are much more I would like to share, but time does not allow. I hope that you will get a lot of information today from the presentations, and you are going to develop a new strategy in breaking into the Chinese market. I would in particular mention that the next speaker, Mr. Wang Fei, will represent a story of the development of the Zhengzhou Airport Economic Zone. And again, let me give you an idea how big the project is. The Zhengzhou Airport and the related economic zone is 405 square kilometers in area. And that is 3.5 times of Vancouver and 3.5 times of Richmond in size. When the Zhengzhou Airport is fully built, it will have 5 runways. So again, I would like to ask you to imagine what business opportunities are there for the Canadian merchants. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Chinese saying goes, the door is wide open, the opportunities are many, and the future is bright. So I hope that you will enjoy this conference and find it helpful. In closing, please allow me to thank the organizing committee, the sponsors, and all the volunteers who have made this conference possible. And just to give you further information, we are talking about having this event annually, and perhaps 1 year in Canada and the next year in China. So this is going to be an ongoing event to help Canadian business to break into the Chinese market and to find ways to reach to the customers by cross-border e-commerce. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the event. And let's give a big hand to the organizers and the volunteers and the sponsors, because without them, this event will not happen. Thank you very much.